Hi everyone, it's my second live. I thought I'd talk you through more of the setup for this live video, the behind the scenes information. So I am filming this video on my boyfriend Filippo's phone. It is strapped to a reusable water bottle with two elastic bands. It's then on a stack of books and two shoe boxes underneath it to get the right angle. And then behind the bottle is a spoon that has been wedged in to give the correct camera angle. Can you tell that my boyfriend's an engineer? He spent quite a long time getting this set up sorted last week so that I could do my first live, so I could just replicate it this week. So give me a comment if you're watching this live with a hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, then please give a hashtag replay, and I would love to go back through the comments afterwards and give you a reply. So I am just seeing whether anyone else is going to join me. So in the meantime, I will explain what I'm going to cover in this live tonight. I'm going to be talking about routines and how routines have helped me lower my waste. So what I'm going to be focusing on this live tonight is about a morning routine. And then later on in the series, I'm going to look at the full week, how I plan a full week, including food shopping and other shops that I might need to go to during the week, so I don't just go to one shop. So I'll talk through how I plan my week in terms of those different shopping tasks. But yeah, tonight is all about the morning routine and how I do a specific morning routine, virtually the same every single day, and how that helps set me up for the day, which then means that I am wasting less throughout the day because I've managed to do a lot of prep beforehand. So what I'm going to start off with is going through the rocks of my morning routine. So they're like the things that never change, essentially. They're like the topics in a way that I always try and fit in my morning routine. And then I'll go through some of more of the finer details and talk about why I might switch up a routine and what the switches have been that I've made over the time that I've been having quite a strict morning routine. So I've always been the kind of person who would wake up and would have breakfast, and when I was at college and uni, I did actually have to travel to get to college and uni, so I needed to leave a little bit of time for commuting. So I have always had sort of a functional morning routine, but now I have one that I actually really enjoy. And I know that sounds really nerdy to say, but it's because I've made this routine feel like it's something that I get a lot of joy from. So I have filled it with things that I enjoy doing, that I want to do every single morning. And then that means that I'm more likely to do it. Now, that hasn't always been the case, and I did have to adapt it and change it when I found that maybe I wasn't loving the routine as much as I thought I would. But overall, I'm at the point now where I completely love my routine in the mornings. So I will also touch on how I have made sure that my routine creates zero waste. So the things in terms of food, in terms of washing, like hair washing, all of that sort of stuff, how I select certain things to lower waste. So I decided to change to have more of a structured routine probably about a year and a half ago. So I started going zero waste, started my zero waste journey 2.5 years ago. So I had probably a year where I wasn't really doing what I would call a proper routine in the mornings. And I think the main reason why I started adopting a proper routine was I was reading a lot of books about people who had routines and were saying that those routines had helped them in their professional life, in their personal life. And I was like, well, what have you got to lose, really? Like, what have you got to lose by getting a good habit in place that is something that you really enjoy doing? So I have 3 main sections of my morning routine. They are the learning section, the meditating section, and the moving section. So section number 1, learning. So I always try to read something first thing in the morning, or do some kind of app that is around something I want to learn. So typically I will read a book, that will be either a biography of someone that I'm really interested in, or it might be a book that is going to help me in a certain part of my business, or things I really love reading about are sort of psychology books, why we do what we do, and learning a bit more about creating positive behavioural changes, but also understanding why humans do what they do. I find all of that sort of stuff really, really fascinating. So I will spend about 20 to 25 minutes reading every single morning. So the alarm will go off at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll get up, have a wee, come back and start reading. So I set myself a timer so I know how long I'm reading for. And then after that, I will typically go and have a shower straight away after that. I don't use shampoos or shower gels that are in bottles. And the reason why is because those bottles are quite hard to recycle. Where I live especially, you have to remove the lid of these bottles. So like if you're recycling a shampoo and a conditioner bottle, you'd have to take off those lids, you'd have to recycle them separately. Currently our council doesn't take them, so I have to take them to Lush, the cosmetic shop, and then the main body of the shampoo or conditioner will then have to be rinsed out and then go to recycling. That's just a bit of a pain. So what I do instead is I have solid shampoo and conditioner bars, and I have solid soap bars as well. And I am really lucky because I live very close to a shop on the high street. So I live on the high street, and I can walk there in about 2-3 minutes to a shop that sells soap package free. And I went and bought some earlier today. So I take a Tupperware box and I put soap in that Tupperware box and then take it home. So yeah, literally no packaging for me to have to deal with, which is really great. And the soap aligns with my values in terms of it's all natural ingredients, and it's just fabulous. So I'm really lucky to have that so close to me. So yeah, I start off my day with a bit of reading, then I'll go and have a shower and produce only water waste. So in terms of, I can't really avoid that. I want to be clean. And then I will apply a deodorant. So I have 2 deodorants that I tend to use regularly. So one of them I've made myself out of bicarbonate of soda, coconut oil, a little bit of essential oils and corn flour. And the recipe for that is on our Instagram feed, but I can also pop it on the blog as well. I just mix these ingredients together and then create like a paste, and then I just take a small amount of that deodorant and put it on my armpits, and it works really well. The other one I have is an alum block, which is a mineral block. There are a few different types, but I've only ever used one because it's lasted for so long I don't need to get another one. And all you do is you rinse it and you pop it underneath the tap, and then you apply it straight onto your pits, and it stops the smell, which is pretty awesome. So then I'll continue my routine in terms of getting dressed. If I decide that it's a makeup day, I'll put makeup on. And then the next part of my routine is meditating. So I spend 20 minutes every morning having a guided meditation session. I use Spotify at the moment for this meditation, and the woman is called Tara Brock, and she's fantastic. So you can just pop your headphones in, 20 minutes, and then a chime goes at the end of it so you don't fall asleep. And she'll guide you throughout the meditation session. It's really lovely. I've also used other apps. So I have used Headspace before, and I got on really well with that one. And I've also used Calm. I didn't like Calm as much because, I don't know, just the front page of it seemed a bit spammy, for want of a better word. It just didn't really fit in with what I was after. Whereas using Tara Rock through Spotify. It's free to access, and then if you want to make donations, you can go to her website, which I really appreciate. So after my 20 minutes of meditation, it's then time for breakfast. So I've missed a little bit. So meanwhile that's happening, Filippo is having a shower, and then I will typically do some really quick exercises, just nothing really complicated. It's just to kind of move my body. So I'll do some sun salutations. I'll do about 5 of them. I'll do a quick plank for a minute. And then I also just do like a weird twisty movement. Like, I don't, if anyone knows what you'd actually call that, but I just literally spin my arms around. That's all I do. But it's just to kind of get me up and awake and, you know, ready for the day. However, if it is in summer and it is much warmer than it is right now and sunnier, I'll actually have my meditation as part of a walk. So I'll go out for a walk first thing in the morning. I'll put my meditation in my headphones, walk down to the allotment, and I will do a little bit of weeding. And whilst I'm weeding, I'm listening to the meditation. So it means I'm getting like a job done whilst I'm also relaxing and getting ready for the day. And I found that really helpful, because otherwise I can just, like, my allotment can just get so full of weeds and just look really rubbish really, really quickly. Whereas if I'm going down little and often, it looks much, much better. But at the moment it's too dark in the morning, so I can't do that. I pop down in lunch instead. But that was a really fun thing to do throughout, you know, August time. I really enjoyed that part of my morning. So yeah, the final part of my day is that moving part. So whether that's going to the allotment or whether that's just doing exercises at home, I really love doing that. It just gets me set up. And if for whatever reason I don't manage to fit proper exercise in for the rest of the day, then I know I've started off by doing some stretches. Typically I will have to walk somewhere for work, but it means that I don't have to do like, well, I mean, I should do more exercise, but you know, I've done some at the start of my day. So when do I change this routine? So I've already mentioned that I will change a routine if the weather's a bit awful and part of my routine was outside. But I could also switch it up if I am ill, if I'm particularly tired. I will just let myself sleep in a little bit longer. So I always do this routine Monday to Friday. And on Saturday and Sunday, I kind of will push it on a little bit into the middle of the morning. But I find that by being really disciplined with myself and getting it done every single day means that it's not really something I have to think about anymore. It just happens. The other time I'd switch it up is if I had a new priority. So I am trying to learn Italian. And the same thing with weeding the plants. I found that if I put it in my morning routine at the start of my day, it meant that I was actually going out to do that weeding. So likewise, when I was trying to learn, well, I still am trying to learn Italian, I'll put it into the start of my morning, and by putting it first thing, it means that it gets done. And as you can tell from the way I'm talking about it now, I've removed it from my routine, which means I don't do it anymore. So there's a confession for you. I should pop it back in and get back to it. I also will adapt a routine if I find that I'm just dreading a certain part of it. So if for whatever reason, I used to love having that 20 minutes of reading, and I still do right now, but if for whatever reason I found that I was finding it really dull, finding it really boring, then that would be kind of a sign to think, okay, maybe I need to switch up the order of what I do things in, or maybe just remove it completely, because I don't want it to feel like torture, because if it does feel like torture, it'll be so easy just to carry on sleeping or just to not really put any thought into it, and then what's the point in doing it? So that's the first kind of hour and a bit of my morning. And then the next part is breakfast. We have the same thing every single day of the week. I know that's super boring, but it's super easy as well. And I know how to make sure I produce little to no waste when I go out and buy these items. So for me, it's something that I don't really have to think about. So I have porridge every single morning, well, at least every single weekday, most of the weekends as well, to be fair. I can get the oats either from a zero waste supermarket or wrapped in paper, which I then can compost in one of our many compost heaps that we have on the allotment. We also have banana on our porridge, which I compost the skin of. And then we have milk on our porridge. If I have been nice and prepared, it will be homemade. So if you want the recipe of how I make my own oat milk, well, almond milk is the recipe on there, and then there are some notes for if you want to make oat milk or any other nut milk. It's on the blog. But if I don't manage to do that, I will have plant milk in a Tetra Pak. Now, Tetra Paks are not the best thing ever, and I'm fully aware of that. So I can't recycle them up here in Birmingham. Being the best daughter in the world that I am, I wash out every single Tetra Pak that we use. I cut out the lid because I can recycle those at Lush. And then I give them back to my parents when I see them because they can recycle them in Bristol. I know, they're just so lucky to get Tetra Paks off me. I mean, because you want anything more. So it's not completely zero waste, but I am trying my hardest to lower my waste using the time and the resources that I have available for me. And I would recommend that everybody does that themselves. Like, if they don't have the time to make things from scratch, use what's available and think about consciously how you can reduce that waste at the end of its use. So on top of the porridge, we might put whatever we've got in at the moment. Maybe it's some seeds, maybe it's some extra nuts, I don't know, a jam, a peanut butter. So I guess I'm selling myself short saying that we have the same thing every single day, because we will switch it up in terms of that. But it's just something that's nice and easy, something we don't have to think about. And that's the thing that makes the routine doable, because you don't have to think about it. And also, when we are doing our shopping, we don't have to think about how do we dispose of this packaging, because we either don't have it in the first place or we know exactly how we can dispose of it, and we know that we've got packaging that we can easily home compost or whatever. Alongside that, I'll just drink a water or a green tea. I typically will have loose leaf green tea, but if I haven't managed to get some for whatever reason, I will just drink water. So I guess the main takeaways that I want to get across is that by having this routine, it means that I can lower my waste. So I can make sure that I have the right things in place in terms of food for my morning, the beauty products that I need to use, like the soaps and the shampoo bars. I know where they are. I don't have to think about it because it's already planned and it's already part of my routine. And also, by having this quite large chunk of time at the start of my day, if I know later on in my day I'm going to be going out, I'm going to need a water bottle in my bag or whatever, I have plenty of time to think about that and to pop it in my bag so that I'm not creating waste later down the line. A massive part of zero waste living is just thinking ahead. Like, it's not really rocket science at all. It's common sense. It's just planning ahead. It's thinking about where you're going to go, what kind of waste you might come into contact with, and trying your hardest to navigate around that and think what you'll need to take with you or what you might need to bring home in order to stop that waste going to landfill. So in terms of what I pack in my bag, it's really easy, and I'd always say that these are the things that you guys will have at home. You don't need to go out and buy a fresh fancy new set to live zero waste at all. You've already got the stuff. So it is just really simple: a water bottle, a tote bag, a fork, a napkin of some kind, a scrap of fabric, whatever you've got, and a Tupperware box. So the Tupperware box might be full of lunch, or it might be an empty box so that I can take it to a cafe and ask for food to go into the box. Or it might be that I have taken a snack out with me, maybe an apple or an orange or whatever, and I'm going to take the compost home in that box. So essentially that is my morning routine. It's not super fancy, but it serves me really well, and I really enjoy having that kind of rhythm and just, I guess, doing it on autopilot, not really having to consider what I need to do, and it means that I am able to be mindful for the rest of the day, and I've already kind of achieved stuff, for want of a better word. So I've already read something that's hopefully given me something to think about throughout the day. I've already had some time relaxing with the meditation side of things, and I've already done a very mini workout. I mean, it's mini, but you know, something just to get my body moving. So I'd love to know your thoughts on my routine, whether you have anything to suggest, any extra things that you guys do that you're like, you're missing out, you don't do this. Anything that you think, actually you could do this better, you could change this up. I'd just love to have a conversation. So do pop comments underneath this live and I will reply to you, or feel free to direct message me via either Facebook or Instagram. Basically, however you want to contact me, I will get back to you. Thanks a lot for listening to the second ever live I've done. I have decided that I'm going to give these lives a name. Wait for it. Waste-free TV. Snazzy, don't you think? So what I'm going to do every single week is these lives will remain on Facebook, so you can scroll back through and watch any that you miss. But I'm also going to download them and pop them on YouTube as well. So for whatever reason you might just want to binge watch me one after the other, you can hop on over to YouTube and watch them. Thank you so much for spending the time with me tonight. It really touches me that people want to come and listen to how I live with less waste. So I hope you have a fantastic evening and the rest of your week, and I will chat to you next week. Thank you. Bye.